What can you do without capital? I'm not going to tell you anything ambiguous. You can verify anything I'm telling you. Go and verify. I'm going to list out a couple of things you can do and make millions from without capital. When you understand some of these things, you will never have to go and borrow any loan from those bank apps. If you have real money, you don't have to fake it till you make it. Just get the real thing, so you don't have to fake it. Stop spending above your means. One of the things you must learn is that you must actually be richer than people think. You can't be broke and be arrogant. If you keep spending above your means, you will go broke in no distant time. So you've got to be disciplined with your money. See, if you are going to break the limitation of your finance, you have to find something that can work right from where you are. Some are not consistent even with their flow of thought. They are not consistent. They are saying something different today. Tomorrow they are saying something else. Today they want to start a bakery business. Tomorrow they want to go into real estate. Next tomorrow they want to go into farming. Days later they want to go into cryptocurrency. Then later they want to do exactly what do you want to do. You've got to be consistent. You have to be a man of one thing. Now, if you belong to the group of DM for price, stop it.
This is RichNation WBPT Podcast, the #1 podcast in the world. We introduce you to the people and ideas, and we bring people together. Femi Victor Lazarus is a famous Nigerian preacher, writer, and counselor. He is the founder of the Femi Lazarus Ministries Ecumenical, popularly called Flame. He is also the founder and senior pastor of Sphere of Light Church, headquartered in Ibadan. He is a public health professional and the convener of Campus on Fire Conference. Apostle Femi is multilingual. He speaks Yoruba, English, and Hausa fluently with a bit of Igbo language. Apostle Femi is an indigene of Ogun State, Nigeria, a very selfless and passionate preacher who has a vision of liberating as a mandate from God. He is a seasoned preacher of the gospel, highly intelligent, dedicated, committed, and talented. As one of the fastest growing Nigerian Pentecostal pastors, it is interesting to know that he has touched many lives with his ministry. He demonstrates an unusual wisdom and understanding of the scriptures and uses this advantage to convert souls to Christ. He is an apostle with a prophetic cutting-edge ministry. He has the mandate to raise God's end-time armies. Apostle Femi is a public health professional by training. He is a lover of God and the principal of the International School of Ministry, a platform through which he has trained ministers in more than 30 nations. He is married to Pastor Miracle Femi Lazarus, and they are blessed with a daughter, Abigail Lazarus. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Pastor Femi Lazarus. I hope you guys enjoy the wisdom and pursue your dreams. Enjoy.
Let me share the background to this teaching. Recently, I remember seeing a video by Dr. Sam Adeyemi, who actually is one of the mentors that I follow, very well. The point of the video was that he was talking about the fact that there is a fault in our prosperity message, which I agree to. Not knowing of mastery. All right, meaning that we are really going to be going, neck deep into the strategic operations to get certain kind of result that we desire, and this is one of the things that I'm going to be doing, showing believers how to practically make money. All right, because if we don't teach it, who should? Okay, if we don't teach it, who should? The church should teach it as long as it brings edification and growth to God's people. All right, and that is exactly what I'm going to be doing. Amen. So another thing is I found out why trying to help some believers grow their finance, and I've been doing this for years. Okay, sometimes the issue we are faced with is that this fellow does not even have anything to start with in the first place. All right, so how do you build when it looks like you are building on nothing? When it looks like there's nothing you are starting with? Is there still a possibility of growing wealth? Yes, there is. All right, I'm going to share some personal experiences with you, and I believe they will help you, particularly if you are going to be open-minded. And that's one of the things I'm going to be pleading for, that you should be open-minded so that you can receive in fullness everything that you should receive. And guess what? Even if you are in ministry, all right, you're going to pick something. It can show you how to scale from one point to another in ministry. I'm still going to have a separate teaching for that. But all right, but you are going to get insight, from this teaching, and it's going to really, really help you. Praise God. There are a couple of scriptures I want to show you, which I believe that we cannot really deal with the subject of finance and not deal with this scripture. For instance, the Bible says in the book of Proverbs, chapter number 22, verse 9, says, "Seest thou a man that is diligent in his business? He shall stand before kings. He shall not stand before mean men." That's a very, very, powerful scripture. A man who is diligent in his work will stand before people of means. Then look at it again. Proverbs chapter number 12, verse 24 says that the hand of the diligent shall bear rule, but the slothful shall be under tribute. The slothful shall be under tribute. Most times when you read scriptures like this, there's the tendency to quickly attribute lack with laziness. And I've come to tell you today, it's not always so. Sometimes the issue is not that the fellow is not hardworking, but sometimes the issue, more often times, what I've found out is that the person is not working smart. You can work hard and not work smart. I'm going to be showing you the ABCs. Very simple, easy to digest, practicable. You will know exactly what to do just by sitting under this broadcast. And let me quickly advise that you share this with friends. One of the most painful things you can have is when you are surrounded with people who don't have, and you seem to be the only one that has. All right. Since you'll be getting the secret, share it and tell them, come now. All right. So that we can get the secret together and break out of the shackles together. The Bible says that good understanding brings favor, but the way of a transgressor is hard. So it means even favor itself is powered by a body of knowledge. When you have that knowledge, things will work. Are you following me? Good. So before I start showing you the way out, I want to help you identify some of the things I have observed to be the leading cause, or one of the leading cause of strandedness or being broke, as it were. All right. From my own observation, I've been, by the grace of God, pastoring and leading people for the past 14 years. All right. So I can tell you a lot from the things I've seen in the space of this period. And I've seen all sorts. I know there's still more to be seen, but I can talk to you from where I stand, that I have observed this. And what you should do is that if you observe that you have some of these traits, then you might want to mark them. All right. So I'm going to also show you the way to break out as I'm mentioning them. So here are some of the things I found out to be one of the leading cause of strandedness, particularly amongst believers. Number one is poor action orientation. Poor action orientation. This is going to form the basis for all the things I'm going to be sharing. You will not be able to make anything out if you are listening just for knowledge. You've got to be someone who is listening because you want to do. You want to change your life. You want things to change. All right? You want to move from point A to point B. Newton's law of motion, or is it the first law, second law, says that every object remains in a uniform state of motion unless it is compelled to change by an external force acting on it. That is, change doesn't come with time. It comes with deliberate effort. Nothing is going to change with time if you will not change what you are doing and then do things better. So anywhere there's meaningful change, someone is behind the scene. All right? Just like the principle of cause and effect. There's someone behind the scene that is causing the change to happen. All right? And one of the things I want you to note is that from henceforth, you are not going to be waiting for some invisible force to come change your life. You will take necessary step with the information you have. In fact, it's so painful that some of the most knowledgeable people sometimes can be the most backward because they just know for knowing's sake. They talk, but they are not doing. So sometimes the issue is not problem of idea. The problem is not with your ideas. The problem sometimes It's with your action orientation, not taking the necessary steps. So we're going to move from, we want to bridge the gap between knowledge and wisdom, between just knowing it in your head and then acting it out. We need to bridge that gap. Sometimes the gap is too wide. So here are some of the leading reasons why some people are broke. I've said number one, poor action orientation. Number two is the fact that some do not have the required skill set to solve the problems around them. All right, they don't have the required skill set to solve the problem. You cannot separate real finance from problem solving. You can't. In fact, money is a reward for solving problems. You will have at the level of the problems you have solved. What you have currently is a reflection of the level of the problem you are solving. You are not going to have beyond the problems you're solving. And you need skills to solve problems. You don't just need the will. Some have the will, but it's not enough. You need the skill. It's not enough to desire to solve problems. You need to have what it takes to solve the problem. And it is when you solve the problems that you'll be rewarded. So while a pessimist sees problems everywhere, a business-minded person with good orientation sees opportunities in the midst of problems. Sees opportunities in the midst of problems. You're not just seeing problems, you are seeing opportunity. And guess what? It cannot be called an opportunity for the one who does not have the skill required to solve it. Don't forget to share this broadcast. Call in your friends, share it on your social media platforms, share it on your WhatsApp status, share it on your Facebook, on your Twitter. Let's have people join us. So if you don't have the skill set required to solve the problem, what you have is information, not opportunity. Alright, even if there are things that could bring resources somewhere, it's just an information for the one who does not have the skill set. So you need skills. You need skills. So sometimes people don't have the required skills around them. Alright, and when you see that some opportunities have been showing up around you, but you don't have the skill, then spend quality time trying to acquire the skill. Identify those who have the skills, see how you can volunteer to serve or intern with them, and then learn your way up. Learn your way up. Alright, you've got to be busy doing something. You've got to be busy doing something. And it's best you are first busy getting the required skill. Number two, most people are broke because they don't have the right information at their disposal. They don't have the right information. Even when you are action oriented, you need information. You need quality information to know exactly what you want to do. You need to bridge that gap, and that's where the issue of relationships comes in. You need to practice, you need to build the required skills to relate efficiently. You cannot have relationships as strategies. It has to be a lifestyle. Because if you are trying to be strategic about relationship, what you're going to do is that you're going to be choosing by sight, and you may miss the right people. You know, I remember years back, I waited 2 years. Part of the 2 years was voluntary, and that part of the 2 years was not voluntary. Before I could go for my service, I didn't have any extra year or carryover. Alright, but I remember I went to eat at a buka. And all this buka, all this roadside fast food joint. I went to eat at one of those places around my environment. And the girl that came to serve me just asked and said, "Pastor, why have you not gone for service?" So I said, "Well, still waiting." And then I'm ready, I'm processing it now. And she said, "I have someone I could call that can help you with your service and all that." And I was wondering, this girl is serving food at a restaurant. And guess what? She linked me with someone who linked me with someone in Abuja. And it was just one phone call. And the fellow was asking me, where do you want to serve? Sometimes the people who have the necessary information don't look like it. You've got to value people. So you need the right people. Sometimes don't have the right information. Let me give you an instance. For instance, look at the issue of cryptocurrency. Sometimes there are times that before the information about a certain coin or so is out, those who will make millions have made the millions. Sometimes it's not about just getting the information, it matters the time you are getting the information. Alright? And information is everything where money is concerned. You really need to know that. Information is everything. So if you're going to get quality information, you need to have people around your corner. Everything is going to play a very serious role when it comes to people. Most people, sometimes I've seen that some believers are broke. They don't still know how to keep relationships and all that. So you can't be that person. You can't be that person. You can't be broke and be arrogant. You've got to lower your guard, relate with people, hear the necessary things, know how to build that relationship, nurture it, water it, and then you can always get to know things that is happening. Number 3, I found out that many people are so passive. Passivity. Many people are passive. They are sluggish with ideas. They drag their feet. They will not execute it until someone else starts. Then they are trying to find a way to break the limitations of the market. You can't be that person. Many people are quite passive, and it gives me concern many times. You have things are not working. If it's not working, change it. You can't be passive. So I found out that many people are passive about their finance, and some don't even care. In fact, one of the worst things that can happen to you as a coach is to try to coach someone who is not interested in going as far as you think. Some believers don't care, sometimes for a wrong doctrine. Some just believe that at this season of their life they ought to be broke so that there can be certain manifestation of certain promises. That's not God. 3 John verse 2, Bible says, "Beloved, I wish above all things that thou mayest prosper and be in health, even as your soul prospers." Now, I said this some times ago, and I was dragged online. It doesn't matter. And I said to people, see, God is not using poverty to train you. Poverty is not a training tool in the hands of God. He wants to mature you with His word. But some have believed wrongly that the reason why they are broke is because God is trying to get some lessons into their head. It doesn't work that way. There's no trophy in heaven for poverty. You've got to understand that. Lazarus was poor, but he only got to heaven and discovered that Abraham, the rich guy, was still in heaven. You can be blessed and yet, earthly relevant and heavenly conscious. Poverty is not a license to heaven. You've got to understand that. Number 5, and this is a very serious one. I've seen that some people have ambiguity of thought. They are just ambiguous. Let me explain. I've seen that some people, they always talk about the big stuffs that is actually not practicable from where they are. See, if you are going to break the limitation of your finance, you have to find something that can work right from where you are. Somebody's talking about a business idea that can work in Nassau Rock, and you've not even been to your local government chairman's office. That's quite ambiguous. And sometimes when you try to talk people out of it, they feel it's because you are not seeing their big dreams. You've got to understand when those big dreams are actually not realistic, at least from where you stand. Sometimes they are not yet realistic. And you have to understand that. Your dreams must be achievable. It must be believable. It must be something that can work from where you stand. The big things can come later. In fact, they can be the product of doing the small things well. But to stand from somewhere and you want to climb the tree from the top, it doesn't work. What that will do is that it's going to keep you around the spot for years. And I've seen people like this. They keep saying the big stuffs, big English. Guess what? Some of the guys that are making it don't even speak the kind of English you are speaking. They just do what they have to do. And if you are going to break the limitations on your finance, you've got to calm down, understand your environment, and play the game from where you stand. I remember there was a movie I saw years back, Acrimony. Some of you probably saw the movie. The guy meant well, but he was just not doing things to solve the problem of the family from where they were. And that was wickedness. So you've got to understand that. So people like these always have powerful projections, big projections, but they are not ready to start from where they are. Number 6, the issue of inconsistency. Some are not consistent even with their flow of thought. They are not consistent. They they are saying something different today. Tomorrow they are saying something else. Today they want to start a bakery business. Tomorrow they want to go into real estate. Next tomorrow they want to go into farming. Days later they want to go into cryptocurrency. Then later they want to do exactly what do you want to do. You've got to be consistent. You have to be a man of one thing. You've got to be consistent. You can't start 10 things at the same time. Start from where you are. Narrow your gaze. Focus is blindness. If I'm going to be focused on one thing, it means in the meantime I've got to be blind towards many other things. Focus is blindness. And I watched this TED talk by Kobam Asuko years back. He was talking about the power of blindness. And talk about blindness helps you to focus your mind. So you don't have much distraction like many other people. You see that? You need focus. You've got to narrow your gaze on one thing. You have 10 business ideas. Where do you want to start from? Some of these things are so simple we miss them. They are not that difficult. They are so simple we miss them. And sometimes I understand that it's because you've been motivated by motivational speakers that yes, a lot can happen. But you see, your time can be wasted if your motivations are not backed up with wisdom. You need to understand that. You need wisdom. And to have that wisdom, be consistent. Be consistent. Consistency does not mean that you are not given to improvement. Consistency means to stay with one thing and improve it as you go. Sometimes people have termed consistency to mean that you just keep repeating the same thing again and again. There's no growth, there's no improvement. That's not consistency. You have to have these signs of upward mobility. We must see that you are taking steps to becoming better every now and then. So the issue of inconsistency is one of the leading issues I've seen among many people, among believers. Number 7 now, and this is another very, very serious one. This number 7, I mean, it's so serious. Please listen attentively to this. Now, some people have good businesses, but bad business models. The business, when you hear what they want to do, it sounds powerful. But the model, the strategy on ground can't work. So, and one of the things that happens to these people is that they failed to consult professionals to vet their business models. If you have wrong models for your business, it doesn't matter how powerful it is, it will destroy the entire thing. And you've got to engage professionals. And let me say this to you, if you really want to make it, you've got to learn to embrace corrections. You've got to learn to sit in front of people and they will tell you, see, we respect you, but what you are trying to do can't work like this. You can't be all emotional. You can't run one-man business and this fear of disapproval from people. You've got to learn to sit with people that will vet it and tell you why they think it can work. There's a lot of wisdom. So sometimes people who run with poor business model are those who don't want to be talked to. They don't want to be counseled. They don't want to engage professionals. They don't want to engage people that can help them draft the structure. Some people have powerful ideas. Yes, the idea is so powerful, but the strategy on ground won't work. In fact, one of the things I hate so much is to see people who upload their business or what they are selling on their WhatsApp without uploading price. And I'm like, you want me to DM you for price? And I will have to wait for another 30 minutes when I can just go online and get it on GG on Amazon. Now, if you belong to the group of DM for price, stop it right away. Stop it. It won't help you. It won't help you. Real people will not DM you for price. Put the price there and try to put the last price. It's a wrong approach to business. You have a very powerful Instagram page, but we can't see in fact, the first thing that comes to my mind if I have to DM you for price is that you are fraudulent. It means you are not consistent. That's the first thing I think. Now I speak as an individual. I feel you are going to price me based on my appearance. If you want to show to me that you have business integrity, put the price there so it can be general for all. And many people have lost their their customers because they are using that wrong approach. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. Stop the idea of DM for price. It doesn't work. It looks It looks scary. Like we should not trust what you are saying. Because sometimes we use different account to ask you for price, and the prices are different. So you've got to learn that. Number 8, financial indiscipline. One of the leading cause of being stranded or being broke. Financial indiscipline. Some of the things I found out is that those who don't have are those who spend the most. They spend the money they don't have on things they don't need to impress people they don't like. Let me come again. They spend the money they don't have on things they don't need to impress people they don't like. When you have real money, you are not trying to give anybody the impression that you have. In fact, the more you have, the more you try to hide your head. That's what I found out. I see it's people who probably don't have well enough that try every means to prove that they have. So you've got to be disciplined with your money. My first approach to money is investment. That's my first approach to money. What can I invest? And I try to create multiple businesses from a business, but I'm still going to get there, alright, as we go on. So sometimes people who have and who are working legitimately for their money, when you come around them, you see that they are prudent spenders. They are prudent with their spending. They don't buy things because it is a want. They buy because it's a need. And they are very prudent with their spending. Eyes on the goal, not getting younger. Eyes on the goal. Thank God for your designer shoes, designer clothes, designer watches, and all that. You know, I have, in fact, sometimes I've received gifts of wristwatches and some designer stuff. Sometimes I go online to check, and I'm seeing the prices, and sometimes I'm asking my wife, can I sell this? I want to sell it. Alright, because I can invest in so. Alright, but that's just a lighter note. But you know, I mean, this ambiguous lifestyle, stop it. It won't help you. If you have real money, you don't have to fake it if you make it. Just get the real thing, so you don't have to fake it. Stop spending above your means. In fact, one of the things you must learn is that you must actually be richer than people think. If their opinion of you is big or more exaggerated than what you really have, then you have poor financial orientation. The ideal thing is that you should actually have more than they think. Let me say this: if you keep spending above your means, you will go broke in no distant time. So let's go into the second part of this business. What can you do without capital? What can I do? I'm not going to tell you anything ambiguous. You can verify anything I'm telling you. Go and verify. I'm going to list out a couple of things you can do and make millions from without capital. Yes, you heard me. And I'm honest. And many people probably don't even know this. But before I start talking about those things, the first question is, what are you interested in? And let me say this. Sometimes what you are passionate about may not really bring you money. So one of the things that separate men from boys is that boys try to turn their passion to their profession. Men make passion or find passion out of everything that can bring them real money. And that's where discipline comes in. It's not about because I'm passionate about this, that's where I'm going to stay. No, if there's opportunity here, then I must actually build a passion around it. And you've got to understand that. When you understand some of these things, you will never have to go and borrow any loan from those bank apps, those online apps. You know those apps that will message all your family and friends and say, so and so fellow as you won't need it anymore. So first, what is a capital? A capital is wealth in the form of money or other assets owned by a person, organization, or available for a purpose such as starting a company or investing. So any form of resources that you have that is available for the purpose of starting up something, a business, an investment, or a company. So your capital is basically what you need to start up your own organization, your own business. Now, before I start listing out those things that you need to do, here are questions you must answer. And you need to answer these questions sincerely. Question 1, what problems do you want to solve? Question 2, who are you? Yes, and that's a very serious question. What problem do you want to solve? Then, who is trying to solve the problem? And by that I mean, what's your track record? What's the weight of your social capital? What impression will come to my mind when I think about you? What is the track record you've left on my mind as touching how you have managed relationships between us? I know you're trying to solve a problem, but who is trying to solve the problem? Who are you? In your environment, who are you? Before you start uploading those businesses on WhatsApp, who are you? And sometimes, because we fail to answer these simple questions, we miss the most important point. That the method someone is using may not work for you because you are different. And the weight of contact you have are different. And you've got to answer that honestly. What problems do you want to solve? Then who are you? Do you need to repair the mistakes you've made around you first before you talk about any business? Who are you? Sometimes the wrong people are trying to do the right stuff and they miss it altogether. Let me give you an instance, and I do not mean any disrespect. If out of 50 contacts you have borrowed money from 30 and you have not paid back, and now you are telling them to come and invest in something, they're not going to respect it. So the first thing you want to do is to build what is called social capital. Integrity. Powerful relationship skill. Powerful network. You need that. Then we can talk about the next thing. You've got to have it. That, alright, even if I can't give you money, can I bank on you? Can I conveniently introduce you to people who can put you before kings based on track record of integrity, of prudence, proper management, good character? You cannot separate these things from real finance. You can't. And these are very, very serious issues among believers. I'm sorry to say, sometimes it's like when a believer is trying to strike a deal, you are afraid already because the fellow may just never pay back. So you want to answer those questions sincerely. What's your track record like? What's the weight of your social capital? What's the weight of your network? Someone said your network is your net worth, and I think it's true. Then number 3, do you have the skill set for the problems you want to solve? Do you have the skill set? Now let me say this to you. I'm going to list out a few things. I'm going to list out other businesses, but let me list out a few things. Sometimes this fellow, you don't need a capital if what you want to do is to become an excellent event host. You heard me? You don't need money. I'm trying to get 2 million, some people are investing in me. So no, you've just got to show us you have the skill and start by rendering those services for free. Friends' birthdays, friends' daughter's party, wedding ceremony, your friends getting wedded. Alright, see, sometimes some people may not give you the money, but they can put you before those that will give you the real money. You have to understand that. And you have to understand also that you actually need people to build your track record. Now that you are standing before important people, they are asking you, show us what you can do. But you don't have any track record because you said no to those who couldn't pay you. If they can't pay you the real money because you are just starting out, guess what? They will give you a good track record. You've hosted their event, now you can document it and all that. I'm just talking about things around, alright, this, not just this in particular. You notice you love to talk. Go on YouTube. Go online, start getting materials on public speaking. Start watching those you consider your models. Or start looking for models. Start looking for role models and watch them again and again and again till the same spirit enters into you. You've got to understand that. You cannot want to do something and not have models in those regards. You need models. See, I was listening to Think Like a Man, Act Like a Woman. Steve Harvey was talking about a time in his life he had to go for shows for $100 bill. At some point, he saw somebody was making $1,000 from their shows. Then he tried to build himself and moved on to $1,000. Sometimes people are requesting for an amount that you have not built the required value to offer at that level yet. It means what you are asking for, they can easily replace you with those who are offering value at that level. So don't do anything. I know you are expensive. I know you don't want to market yourself cheaply. But see, you need track record. And I'm saying this to you in the most simplest way. You need track record. And sometimes to get it, you do it for free. It will pay off later. But start from there. And in fact, the business is not yours if you are not willing to do it for free. Sometimes what you want to do is photography or videography. I remember at some point myself and Yemi Kings were in the same room. Was my roommate. And then he was trying to learn photography. I was the experimental guinea pig for years. It was just snapping me back to back. Just snapping me. We'll snap inside bush. We'll snap and change the suit color. We'll just snapping and snapping. After service, he'll call me. Let's go and snap again. He was practically using me to gym. And I was enjoying it because I was writing on social media. I was posting the pictures and doing all sorts. I was enjoying it. But guess what? He was also growing from there. Now if I say come and snap me, he's going to do some shakara. Alright, because he's known his onions. He's built up his career. So you need to understand that. Be willing to start for free. You will not always remain there. It's a sign of humility. And you will learn the basic lessons you need to learn. You get up from there. So you can download materials online, download courses online, and build up from there. I've seen powerful photographers that were self-taught. You heard me. In a world that we have almost everything on internet, why won't you just sit down with it? So you've got to build the skill set. But don't forget, I told you that the foundation for all these things is that you are action-oriented. Once you are not action-oriented, you will just hear this for hearing's sake. What I'm showing you tonight is for doers. Now, if you want to think about what can bring money without capital, frankly speaking, you have to think about rendering services. Yes, you heard me. You want to think about breaking that, gap of being broke all the time. Then you've got to be able to provide a form of service. Start with service provision. Start from there. Now, let me remove a veil. Let me help you remove a veil from your mind. Who told you that you have to know how to sew to be a fashion person? Who told you? All you have to do is to be the final bridge to the final consumer. That's all you have to do. You don't even need to know how to put needle in a thread to be in fashion industry. So to think that you have to learn to know how to make clothes for you to be, no. The basic thing is what you have to learn. Learn how to take measurements. And have the boldness, have the courage. You don't have to explain, I'm just learning this job. I'm just like, who asked you? Who asked you? All you need is to have people in those corners. I have one of my friends. He makes one of the best. This country is one of the best suit guys you can think of. But this guy doesn't know how to sew. He doesn't know how to make clothes. When he finished NYSC, he went to the village. He saw some fashion designers, or what you call tailors. He said to them, come to the city. I'm going to house you, feed you, and pay you better. And he brought them to Lekki, rented a 3-bedroom apartment. About 4 of them were staying with him. He was posting online and getting clothes, pushing designs, and was getting orders from powerful celebrities. And these guys were making it in the house. Action orientation. It's that simple. And sometimes we know everything except taking the right steps. See, so I want to say this. So I'm not really the person doing. Who asked you? Who asked you? You don't have to be a farmer to be a farmer. You don't have to. You just have to be bold. See, the courageous will always lead the gifted. That's the rule. The courageous will always. You need a lot of audacity to make things out in life. Sometimes you're a medical person. Hey, God, help me. Help me help these people. You're a medical person. You are a nurse. You are a medical doctor. You are a physiotherapist. Alright? And so on and so forth. You've got to understand beyond your salary the power of media. Sorry. You've got to understand the power of media. Can I come on your timeline and know the best things I can do in the area of your skill? It starts from there. So that by the time we need someone to come and help us with a workshop at government house and so on, we can call you. It starts from there. There are some guys who are making powerful money through media, and they are medical practitioners, apropos doctor. Some of them are like that. They give you those information for free. Alright, they give you those information for free, and by the time you need people who have the knowledge, your mind goes to them first, because they are the ones who are invading those spaces. You can't say I'm not a media person. You build skills for it, sir. You were not born a phone person. You learnt it. Build skills, learn it. If there's something there, why will you say you are not somebody who is doing it? Who does that want to help? Be a media person. So you can't just stay in comfort zone. I want to come on your timeline and see that you are educating me about what you do. You are a chef or you are a caterer. Don't post the videos and the pictures of what failed. Look for your best plating or your best plated works. Snap with good cameras. If you don't have good phone, have friends that have good phones. Learn basic editing skill. Remove, sharpen it, reduce contrast, add color. Learn those things. Don't just post it as it were or as it is. You are the one who is saying you are a fashion entrepreneur. You are taking picture in front of dustbin. You say, hey, small girl, big God. Small becomes small girl, small purse, small account. You have to learn it, sir. You can't be broke and you are too broke, you can't afford to pay attention. Pay attention to what you are releasing. There are people who are watching you who will never tell you. Stop posting your fails. I don't watch fails. I don't watch videos of fails. Because I don't want that to be part of my orientation. Put out your best stuffs and market yourself well, sir. Market yourself well. From today, stop it. Alright? Stop uploading things that are not relevant and say things are not fine. They will not be fine in a hurry. You have to understand that. And by the way, that one is a very serious one. Stop taking pictures in front of dustbin, in front of bad places, and say you're fashion entrepreneur. Those who have money will know you are broke. They know that you need their money to solve problem. They won't give you the job. When you go to hotels, big places, quickly use the opportunity, post, snap me. Oh yeah, take it there, upload. Not the one you took in the village, okay? I mean, but these are very important stuffs, just so you know. But that one, take it to, you say, go to powerful places. Oh yeah, quickly take me, pam, snap and post. Then stop uploading the things you didn't make as a chef. That the real owner. You know, now we don't even have copyright issues in Nigeria like that, but things are changing, sha. So think of rendering services. You can render service, industrial cleaning, learn how to do the basics, tile polishing, window polishing, all those things online. You want to start getting the work. The first set of money you're able to gather, you can start buying vacuum cleaner, blowers, and all those things. Industrial cleaning, delivery services. You don't have to actually be the one who is going from house to house. You can just have bike guys that, alright, have been contacted. And it takes audacity to start. Don't forget that. It takes audacity to start. When our ministry was going to start putting pastors on salary, we didn't have what it takes. But I knew there's no way we'll get people to come on board and we'll not have what it takes. It takes audacity to start. graphics designing. A graphic designer and things are constantly bad. Look for powerful people who are posting funny images. Get all the information on it, help them readdress it, DM them with it. Do it again and again and again. Soon they will start calling you. Alright, that's how you break all these things. Start by solving problems. And it's free. I know you're going to need some resources to do it. Delivery services. Don't forget that you need the required skill, web designing, and so on and so forth. But hope you pick the fact that you do not need to know how to do certain things to make money from them. You can just have people who know how to make it but who don't have good marketing skills and be the final bridge to the consumer. And with that, you know how to package yourself well, you know how to sell your own market, and guess what? You can even make more than the people who are producing. Sometimes we overrate production. The question is, is there money here? If there is, then you should know how to get it out. I can give you a few things also that you can learn looking at where Nigeria is going, and they will really help you. Sound engineering is going to help. Want to learn how to set sound for organizations and all that. Anything tech, please get into tech, particularly if you have passion for it. Get into tech. Fintech, web, all those things, coding, get into tech. If you have, there's going to be a lot there. But do you know, amazingly, that you really don't need anything to start real estate? Yes, you heard me. You don't need anything to start real estate. You don't need anything to start real estate. I have properties in some places that I didn't start with a kobo. And that's the fact. You don't need anything to start real estate. I'm going to show you how. Don't forget to click on the like button, please. It will help the algorithm system take it further so a lot of people can be blessed. Let me share this with you. All you have to do, get a lawyer, then go to a place with prospect. One of the very key thing about real estate is that if the land is already expensive, you've missed the season, particularly when you don't have the money. Go to a place that is not so expensive but ask prospect. Alright, development is coming there, government is planning so and so and so. Then negotiate with the real locals. Negotiate on paying as they buy, and then from there take it up from there, and then bring people. Like, that's why I say you need integrity. Send an agreement, but don't price in plots, price in acres. You bring people there, they buy it, you can start paying them, and before you know it, you already own all the properties. Why people are still buying? That's how it works. Really, you need all this information. You need audacity to get in there and tell them, I'm going to sell these things for you, and then get people that can help you design, push it out, get agents that will sell, agree on certain percentage, 5%, 10%, as the case may be. You can do copy and paste this in any environment, and it works. And there's money in real estate. Stop putting your money in all these investments that's making you cry every year. All these investment, they'll tell you ROI, this. I've been there. It's not funny. Okay, so I've been there. For those who are planning to start crèche, start school, what you need is a very good space. Start one at a time. And I want to believe something as you've been imparted. If you have, please, you can just drop in the comment section. Let me know also that you've been really blessed. And then you probably want to write out the practical steps you want to take from here. Maybe a light broke out in your heart. So you've seen something that I probably didn't see before. So you say you can start some business without necessarily being the person doing it. My question is, how do I do fashion business, sewing or barbing, when I don't know how to cut hair or sew? Okay, so first thing first, let me talk about the issue of fashion. All you need is to get powerful people who can sew it from different corners. Measure your client, or get people that measure your clients. Let those people sew it, and then you just let them do the fitting, and that's it. I was touching barbing. So I remember I went to barb somewhere in Lagos about 2 years ago, and I saw a newsletter, probably a magazine. And what was written is how I quit banking job to begin barbing. All right, the owner of that barbing salon, I'm sure he was working as a banker before, but he was not there barbing. All right, he left his banking job to create a business. You are actually creating a business, not doing. Getting those who can do, pay them, while those who are getting the service pay you. It's as simple as that. You pay those who are doing it, while those who are getting the service pay you. It's as simple as that. How do you balance multiple streams of income? Prioritize what brings in the best and use the rest to service that one. Prioritize what is bringing in the best and use the rest to service that one. Thank you for joining this. Really nice having you here. Expect many more. If you have not subscribed, subscribe please. Click on the subscription button. Please subscribe so you can get access to more videos. And you want to go through this channel. There are more videos that I can bless you.
If you want to support our podcast and stay informed about our latest episodes, we're always creating new content every week for our podcast. Subscribing is the best way to ensure that you don't miss out on any of it. Please hit the subscribe button. We really appreciate it. God blesses you all and be legendary, my friends.